what you want to do is you want to balance it on the knife and run through the house. Okay, let's go and check in on another guy that's going to go out qualifying, Graham Rahal with Robbie Floyd.
Graham, when you saw that pick 7, you didn't think that was going to be available. In a perfect world, where you would have picked?
Well, I mean, I think that that's probably pretty good for us because it gives you kind of an idea of what everybody else is going to run. Also gives you some time to adjust to the heat and stuff. But we'll see what happens. I mean, the quick trim car's been really good. A little loose in qualifying this morning, but I think that, you know, we figured out what that was. So we'll move on from here and see where it ends up.
Now, I'm looking up at the tally there, P6 or Q6. How you feeling about your chances moving up from there?
Well, I think that it's pretty impressive, this group. You know, we basically decided to do this 2 weeks ago. For us to be where we're at is pretty good. Realistically, I'd love to be, of course, you know, you want to be on pole. Realistically, if we can be in the first couple of rows, I'd like to keep in the first 2, but we'll see what happens.
And his dad, again, is at Laguna Seca. He can't be here today, but I'm sure he's watching on Versus.
The boy done good, Bobby. Graham Rahal in the top 9. And now Elio Castroneves, who ended up in P1, will again have P1. He will be going out for the first attempt in this pole shootout.
Indy 500, the greatest spectacle in racing and the largest single-day sporting event in the world. Open-wheel racing excitement at the Brickyard, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 33 cars featuring the defending champ Elio Castroneves and Canadians Alex Tagliani from Montreal and the thrill from West Hill, Paul Tracy. The 94th running of the Indianapolis 500, Sunday, May 30th at noon on TSN.
Away from the start of the second half of the second part of qualifying here on the pole shootout. There are the way the cars will be going out for the second half. Elio Castroneves has selected P1. He will be the first to go out. Lindy Thaxton is with Tagliani.
All right, Alex, you were able this afternoon to sit back and watch what Will and Elio could go out and do. What do you think you've got for them?
I don't know. Honestly, the team did a great job so far. We're trying something. I mean, we're going to go for it, obviously. We're not, you know, laying back. You know, we'll see if we have something for the Penske cars. You getting pretty nervous this afternoon? Yeah, I was pretty nervous. I was at the medical getting a breathing treatment, and I was getting these guys, you know, withdrawing their lap, you know, just to qualify up front. So they felt pretty secure, and that's what Penske is. You know, they're really strong. They know what they've got. So hopefully with what we have is going to be enough to give them a run for their money.
Good luck to you, Tags.
Thank you.
Robbie?
Lindy Thaxton, I'm looking at Ed Carpenter, and he made it in that top 9. It doesn't make a difference. As long as you're in that 9, you have a chance at pole at Indy. How does it feel?
It's good. You know, that was one of our goals coming into this, was to qualify in the top 9 and make the shootout. You know, I don't think we, you know, I'm realistic. We don't have the speed to go after the pole that some of these guys have. So, you know, we're in a bit of a unique situation because we don't really need the points. We're not running full time. So we're playing it a little safe here, just going to go put in our run and, you know, happy to be 9th. And
were you surprised with TK and Briscoe being after you that you were able to hold on to that position all day?
I nearly crashed in my run about 4 or 5 times, so I wasn't surprised to see people struggling. I mean, it was really tough conditions earlier in the day, and I doubt it's going to be much easier right now. So, you know, it's what it's all about. It's Indianapolis. You got to hang it out, and got it. You know, we made it in the shootout. You know, it's going to be my best start, so I'm happy with it.
Congratulations, Ed Carpenter. Guaranteed at least 9th place starting position.
Yeah, one thing we might explain is that we qualified 24 today. Now the top 9 are locked in. They will be in the order in which they qualify coming up here. The others are not necessarily locked in. They could be bumped in tomorrow as the slowest car in the field, regardless of what day he qualified, when the field is filled tomorrow on bump day. Well, while we were discussing this whole thing about drawing for position, I was thinking that the guy who ended up in P1 would choose the 9th spot so that he would know what everybody else is going to do before he went out. But instead, he picks number 1. What's up with that?
Well, I think you heard him say it. What they're just trying to do is they get their run over with, and then they could be the first to go out for that second round, and then possibly even a third is what that mindset is, because the closer you can get to 6 o'clock when the track conditions are just, you know, when the track is happiest and fastest, there's where you want to be.
And Bob, I think you have to think of it like a chess player. They weren't thinking about the first move, they were thinking about the second and the third. So they had worked it out on paper, saying which spot gives me, as Robbie said, the best shot of running last if I need it.
Hideki Muto will be second out. There's a bit of a surprise. I think there are Carpenter, Muto, Graham Rahal. It's really good to see some guys outside of the big five in the top 9.
And I think in particular a shout out to Rahal. We spoke to both Graham Rahal and Ed Carpenter. That was fantastic effort for both.
Yeah. Jack Arute.
You see him doing jumping jacks, looking at his car, starting to visualize. Elio, turn around for a second. Right there. Why did you guys pick number 1?
Let's go, man. We're ready. We gotta go.
I got to tell you something, guys. This tells you what you need to know about qualifying. Think about it. Elio loves to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Not today.
I think that's probably the first time I have ever seen Elio say, I'm getting in the zone.
Yeah, he wanted nothing to do with that.
Yeah, that's good. Elio flexes the muscles. He'll be first out when segment 2 begins in less than 10 minutes. We are back at Indianapolis in a lull here before the shootout begins in less than 8 minutes from now. Tim Cindric talking with Elio Castroneves, who was the fastest in segment 1 and will be first out. Let's talk with his teammate, Will Power.
Will Power here just before he gets heading towards this shootout, talking to one of your buddies. And how does it feel knowing that you're in second spot, but it all gets washed away?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's a good thing. I get another shot at getting the pole. I don't know. I can't do what Castroneves is doing. We'll see. But, you know, the Verizon Team Penske car has been running really well all month. And yeah, I think we do have a shot at it, though. We do.
People make mistakes. I mean, he has to be consistent for 4 laps. Anything can happen. Speed-wise, feel-wise, how is the car?
Yeah, it's on the edge. I mean, the way the wind is and the heat today, man, like on that last lap, you're about that far from the wall on the exit of turn 1, and you know it. I mean, it's nerve-wracking.
From the start of the day to the end of the day, things have changed totally. How was the car? Was it how you expected it to be when you made that second run?
No, actually. I mean, yes, because I did a practice run, but I wasn't expecting to be as hard as it actually is today.
All right, relax a little bit. It's about to be time.
Yeah, exactly. You watch.
Ryan Briscoe getting set to go. We will now have the top 4 cars. They must re-qualify. They must take at least 1 run. $175,000 is a stake, plus the points. 15 to the pole sitter.
And Bob, I think the one thing we need to keep in mind, all these hours we just saw, if you want to post a new time, you have to withdraw yours. In this segment, you do not. So if you've got a time that you like, you go run again. If it's not as good, who cares?
And if you should have a problem and get into the fence, you are still guaranteed a 9th starting position. Elio climbs in the car. We're about set to go for round number 2 of qualifying at Indianapolis.
We can break out. From Indianapolis, Indiana, scene of the world's greatest race, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
The Indianapolis 500, the greatest spectacle in racing. An American tradition with a century of pursuits. 33 cars running wide open at over 200 miles an hour. A 500-mile chase toward racing immortality.
Little Al wins by just a few tenths of a second.
Stage 1 of pole day is now complete, qualifying 24 cars for this year's race. Overcast skies and cooler temperatures earlier today proved to be profitable for many, until an afternoon of drama here at the Brickyard, leaving a few Indy favorites on the outside looking in for the shootout. But the story today is Elio Castroneves and his quest for his 4th Indy 500 title, withdrawing an earlier run and then turning the fastest lap so far. Pole day continues from the Brickyard.
We're gonna run wide open today, come on.
It is the same day that we had at 11 o'clock, but it's a whole new effort now as 9 cars in the next hour and a half will shoot for the top 9 starting positions in the Indianapolis 500-mile race. Scott Dixon is getting set to go.